Hello everybody, welcome to the Comic Gear Movie Show. My name is Deshaun and today I'm here to review the overall first season of Invincible. Now I reviewed the first 3 episodes as I do with most shows. The only shows I really review on week basis are really like huge shows. Not to say that this isn't a great show, but for the most part my strategy when it comes to like shows like this is I review the first, the pilot or the first couple episodes they give me. And then at the end, I review the entire show, and I give my thoughts on cause it gives you a nice gauge. Sometimes it just goes south, but this is not one of those cases. You know what? Invincible's great. Let's just get that out of the way. This show is great. I love the world they built and how it feels. It feels like a superhero world that feels lived in. And not to say that The Boys doesn't, but like The Boys is so cynical and so, nasty in terms of attitude that, it makes it a bit difficult to really I can't tell and everything's so like I said, it's so cynical because it's manufactured that it's hard to really I'm enjoying what I'm seeing in front of me, but I don't have the desire to go read The Boys comic book. I don't have the desire. I'm not wondering what new superhero. I'm not thinking about that. I'm not there's not questions they're putting out there that makes me curious about. I'm just I'm enjoying what's in front of me, and that's about it. Whereas with Invincible, the world is so lived in, and the characters are all so unique and believable, and the voice acting in it is so good. And like I said, the mythology, the lore of this world is it's never heavy-handed, but it's always hinted to, and it's always out there, and there's so much going on. And like I said, dude, this show is so inspirational for me as someone who would love to write and maybe create something like an Invincible myself, and write something like this. This show is so inspiring to me. It's just you know what, you could just do that. Because I'm a fan of cinematic. I'm a fan. The reason I'm such a huge fan of I will always rate Marvel and DC as my favorite comic book things. There are other comic book things I could read. I know I just said I didn't want to read The Boys, but I did buy a Boys comic book. I have seen some Invincible, at least the first comic book, at least the first issue of Invincible. I've seen I've read Spawn, I've read Hellboy, but the thing about it is there's something that's going to always be special about this universe of heroes, and I like that concept. I've always loved that concept. As much as I love the old superhero movies, I love X-Men 2 and X-Men 1. I think X-Men 2 is one of the most underrated sequels of all time. I love Spider-Man 1. Spider-Man 1 doesn't hold up, but I still enjoy it. Spider-Man 2 still holds up and it's great. Enough with Spider-Man 3. But I enjoy those movies, and I enjoy the older movies where it's the most special character in it is the superhero, because there are no other superheroes in this world. And while I don't mind that notion, I would totally, because John Campea thinks that he wishes superhero movies would go back to, just being one superhero in a world by themselves, and but I love a universe of heroes because the possibilities are just endless of what you could do, and it makes the world feel more cool because it's not just you. Because in my mind, it's kind of like a movie that just has demons in it. It's that doesn't make any sense, because if demons exist, then that means God exists, and if God exists, that means angels exist, and angels, you know what I mean? That's kind of how I feel about it, and I'm you know what? If there's one superhero, then there should be more superheroes, because that means that you live in a world that these are possibilities, and like I said, but I always thought that you would have to build to something like that. That you would have to slow roll something like that. Even in my wildest dreams, when I write, I'm thinking to myself, okay, there's no way you could just reveal all these heroes. You got to just slow roll it out. But Invincible, it does it so seamlessly, but it centers around this character of Mark. And Mark is a teenage kid, and so it has a bit of a Spider-Man vibe to it. With Mark being this high school kid, and him getting his superpowers, his dad's Omni-Man. So it's a bit of Sky High meets Sky High meets Spider-Man. It's a bit of Sky High, because in Sky High, if you remember that movie, I review that movie. I remember that movie. That movie was really good. But at least it was fun when I was a kid. If you remember in Sky High, the main character is a teenager, and his dad's like the greatest superhero of all time, and he really doesn't have any. He really doesn't have any powers. He doesn't know if he's gonna have any powers. He really doesn't have them. He doesn't know if he's gonna have them. He's a bit conflicted himself. But and the same thing with Mark. He has, his dad's Omni-Man, this superhero-like figure. He's the part of this superhero team called the Guardians of the Globe. And I will admit, this superhero universe is totally more based on DC than Marvel. It's more of a DC thing. Right down to the way the costumes are designed, right down to the way the superhero powers work, to the superheroes who take center, even to Omni-Man's origin, and to like the way the world works, the way that entire world works, the way it looks, is totally DC. It's DC. But in a good way. I don't mind it. And like, even though, you know what it kind of reminds me of too? The show reminds me of the old school Justice League cartoons, except way more violent, obviously. But like, it kind of reminds me of that. It always gave me the vibe of the Justice League cartoons. But yeah, Mark, he gets his powers, unexpectedly. He's trying his, he's just a kid trying to live his life, but then he gets these powers. He's excited. He wants to be a hero just like his father. But he finds out, obviously, that being a hero is a bit more difficult than he thought. And his dad, is trying to teach him the ropes. He's trying to balance all these different things. Meanwhile, something happens. Now, this is going to be full spoilers from here on out. Turns out Omni-Man, in the first episode, I'm not gonna lie to you, I think the show is weird. Because I think the first 2 episodes had the 2 craziest. Now, it's not until the last episode, the finale, 8th episode, that they topped this. But I thought they never really top that fight and the craziness of the episode 1 and 2. Episode 1, in the end, Mark gets his powers. You're like, okay, yeah, what's going on? And Omni-Man kills the entire Guardians of the Globe, and in brutal fashion. And essentially, just imagine Superman killing the Justice League. Just imagine Superman snapping and killing the Justice League in the most brutal fashion possible. And it was fucking insane. It was insane. It was brutal. It was bloody. He popped their version of the Flash's head. He's snapping necks. He's ripping off. He's punching holes in heads. I mean, it was brutal. The show kind of establishes up top that it's not for kids, dude. It is not for kids. It is a brutal show. Now, the show isn't like, it's not The Boys. Because the show has this vibe. And I love the tone the show strikes. Love it. Where it's brutal when it needs to be. It's brutal. The brutality is for you. The brutality is to let you know that this is real. Like, no. This is real. Like, this ain't no game, man. Like, being a superhero is not a game. You can die. And not like, die off screen or, no, I'm talking like brutally die. Like this is a job where you could brutally die just from trusting the wrong person. In the case of the Guardians of the Globe, trusting Omni-Man. And it don't matter what you intend to do. And you have to be careful, because there's literally a sequence later on in later seasons, later episodes, where Mark accidentally cripples, screws up this old lady because he doesn't know his own strength because he's trying to save her. But it's hard. And like I said, the superhero thing, they really put over that it's difficult. They really put over being a superhero is very difficult. People die. You don't know who completely to trust. And like I said, they do a great job with that. Now, if I had a complaint about the show, I'd say that Mark gets his ass whooped a little too much for my liking. And I understand people what they're going to say. I understand people for saying that he's new. And I get that. He's new. He's inexperienced. He's trying to figure it out. I get all that. But it's the sheer amount of people that he gets his ass whooped by. Because some of the people he gets his ass whooped by, it doesn't even make logical sense. It's just like, wow, man, you get your ass whooped by random robot people. You get your ass whooped by your dad not trying your dad. Not like Inversion your dad who's trying to murder you. You get your ass whooped by just barely trying your dad. You get your ass whooped by aliens. You get your ass whooped by everybody. I'm pretty sure their version of Nick Fury's Cecil could whoop Invincible's ass. Like, seriously. And he gets his ass whooped so much that personally, and I know most people are gonna disagree with me, it kind of took away from the events that came later, where it's finally revealed who Omni-Man is, and Mark tries to stand his ground and gets up and just gets obliterated. I mean, I will tell you this, the season finale of this was much. Like, whoa. Like, I mean, it was a big whoa. Like, I mean, at a certain point, and this is just a highlight of the episode to me, Omni-Man shoves Mark's face through a train, through a subway, as a subway cart, as it's coming through. And as he's shoving him through the cart, because the cart's still going, and they're so dense that they're just ripping right through the fucking subway. He's shoving Mark's head through people, just splitting open and guts all over the place. He's just shoving Mark's head through them. And it was brutal. I mean, talk about you can't stop. Like, that was just so fucking, you can't stop me. In fact, you can't stop me so much, I'm not gonna just kill people in front of you. I'm gonna kill people with you, and you can't do anything to stop me. And I was just like, yo, that is, damn. But yeah, that was the highlight. Now, granted, I did see the finale coming. I talked to Seth, I literally sat and talked to Seth, and I was like, going to win. From the very beginning, because, Omni-Man gives his, talks to Mark about who he really is in the beginning, like, when he tells him he's Omni-Man, and he tells a story about the Viltrumites and how, they're a race of powerful, strong beings who go around the world and, help out planets, protect them from, other creatures, and they're like the Green Lanterns, except like Superman. They're like if Superman had a Green Lantern Corps, that's basically what he described him as. He's like, and I was sent to Earth to be its protector, And I know off the jump, and Seth, please comment in the comment section and back me up on this one. I said it from the start. I was like, that's bullshit. First of all, ain't no fucking race of that kind of power with the speed and power and abilities to do what you can do, at the level you can do it. No fucking way a race like that is protecting people. No, man, you guys are conquerors, and and you guys are so powerful. Each individual of your race is so powerful that they send one down to conquer a planet, and they sent you down to conquer this planet. But the planet's a little bit more there's a little bit more power around here than you expected, so you're waiting it out for an opportunity to fucking waiting out for an opportunity to strike. And sure enough, that's what the fuck happened. Exactly as I thought. And right down to me and Seth talking about this too. We hadn't read the books. I decided not to read the books because I want to experience it, because I really enjoy the show and I really want to experience it with everyone else. And I was like, this was going to happen. Mark's going to get the shit beat out of him. Mark's going to get beat half to death, and at that very moment before he kills him, Omni-Man's going to realize, what have I done? And he's gonna stop. Now, I didn't know what he was going to do, but I was like, he's not going to kill him, though. He's going to get to that point of killing him and realize, what have I done, and stop. And that's exactly what happened. That's what happened. But yeah, man, that was it was still brutal. It was still just because I guessed it doesn't mean I didn't guess everything. I did not know they did some weird ass survival of the fittest where they waged a war on themselves to call out the weak. That was nuts. Their fucking age is weird because the older they get, the slower they age, which means, because he told Mark, by the time you look 30, you'll be 1,000 years old. So it's like, that's fucking nuts. Which makes sense, I guess, biologically. So you get, basically, you get old enough to be able to reproduce, and then it's like, okay, all right, whatever. But that's kind of, how old does that make his father? His father's got fucking white hair, gray hairs. So, man, he must be old as dirt. But yeah, man, it's crazy to me. That, like I said, that whole fight sequence was brutal. But, and they set up a lot of stuff for the next season. Thankfully it got greenlit for a season 2 and 3, so that's great. Can't wait to see more of it. I hope the show gets a little bit more shine because, I know it's a big tank today, but the show's been coming out side by side with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and it's been doing pretty bad. Honestly, it has not gotten, it's been coming out for the last 7 weeks, or now 8, and it's just now trending. No, it trended the week it came out. It trended the week it came out, and then after that, it stopped trending at all. Because Falcon and the Winter Soldier was just the trending thing on Friday. Falcon and the Winter Soldier ruled Fridays. Completely dominated Fridays. So, now they're by themselves. They finally got some shine on it today, which I'm happy to see. But hopefully they don't have any more competition, because this, you know, like I said, man, I was kind of surprised that no one was really talking. And like, I didn't really see a lot of people talking about it. I didn't really see a lot of, like, I saw people reacting to it, but I didn't really see a lot of people talking about it. I didn't see any like theory videos about it. Like, I really didn't see a lot of, you know, a lot of talk about it, except today. Like I said, except for today. But I would give the first season of Invincible a solid 9 out of 10. I mean, this is a hell of a start. Hell of a start. They set up a lot of pieces. I love all the voice cast. I love the voice cast. I love the characters. J.K. Simmons is doing an amazing job as Omni-Man. I thought that was a perfect voice for the character, and now I cannot unhear it. That's the voice I hear. Yeah, man. I loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Nothing but great things to say about Invincible, man. Thank you guys for joining me, Comic Game Movie Show. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Goodbye.